now it is going to be Milk, the undisputed #1 seed so far in this tournament, only having dropped one game in the Great White Bracket. And then Boom, of course, making their way through. We've seen them before. We're seeing them again.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Boom playing the same aggressive gameplay that they've been known for, that we just saw in that last match. Going into another best of 5 to decide the winner for the finals of Great White Bracket for this week's Swimmer Sync. We're going to be seeing a couple players who I am familiar with and a couple who I am not as familiar with. Can you expand on any of the players from Milk who we haven't seen compared to who we just saw Boom?
So I know the first player from Milk. I don't quite know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. I'm not going to go for it. There you go. Frutella. So that's a name that you definitely know by now if you've been keeping up with the Ludi DFX field. And of course, you have a Yeti, Suja, Phoenix, another few names. Obviously, Phoenix also from Frutella. All of these, that the +1/+2 territory that you already know very well about. Surely the date here is actually going to be from Starburst. So I mean, if you need to know about the star power that is on Milk, there you go. This is a team that is coming in loaded and packed to the brim with star power. But of course, Boom, we can't discount them just yet. They have players that have won the Swimmer Sync before, so this is far from the lopsided matchup that you might see on paper. This is going to be as tough as it gets for most teams.
Yeah, I really want to see Boom challenge this, go really, really hard on this. I would love to see this really, really aggressive style of gameplay work out in their favor here, which will be interesting to see. We're starting out on Splat Zone's Ship Shape. Any thoughts on what you think might be going down for either of these teams here?
So, I heard someone once say that Ship Shape is the Schellendorf Museum of Splatoon 3, and it has been sticking with me since. I don't deny it. That's the crazy part. I just, like, I hear it, and I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
You're going to see more of the same from Boom. They don't change weapon columns very often. The only thing you're going to see is Prosper change into the heavy edit every once in a while. But what I want to see from Milk is how they responded to Splatana Wiper, because like I saw in that previous match, that's what enabled them to do so much. Now, what does Milk bring to the table? I know that the team that Boom recently played against, Social Experiment, when they were able to shut down Woomy, things were fantastic for them. I mean, they got Trey able to get down these doubles. Things were perfect. But that's the key, right? And I want to see what Milk does and how Milk finds that key to success.
Yeah, I think if you're right, if Milk can shut down Woomy, keep an eye on him, and work together whenever Woomy's drawing a lot of attention in one area, just make sure that they don't allow Boom to take advantage of that. If they can just have Woomy run in and just sort of die and not have anything come of that's what Milk is going to want. They want to make sure, let's keep an eye on that player. Let's make sure that they're not getting value off of constantly drawing us in one area.
Right, and that's the thing there, is that it's obviously not just Woomy. As much as I say it, there's a lot of from that we saw from Boom that Milk's gonna have to worry about. But again, that's gonna be your main story. But whatever, we'll see how this story plays out. Starting off Grand Finals with Splat Zones, Ship Shape Cargo Co, Milk in the yellow and Boom in the purplish blue. And what we're seeing from Milk is that's a 96 Cal Deco.
Indeed, it is the 96 Gal Deco. We've got Snipe Rider, we've got a Slosher, we've got the Splash, and a 96 Deco. Out of all the 4 weapons on Milk, I think that is definitely the one that we see the least of. And I am ready to see it going. But first, why on that Splash?
Oh my goodness.
Super aggressive.
It wasn't even a splash. That's the thing. That was the crab that got 2 picks from Boom. Like, what am I watching here? This is completely different from what I saw in this previous set. And you're still getting picks. They're still at a numbers advantage. That's the interesting thing. Moving there, being forced to back up. I like that they were at least able to sense the danger here and back things up when they need to. But Milk has 2 specials in tow, 3 now. They've already used that cooler, so it's still 2. But they're still getting picks here. Woomy going to the side. This is going to be Boom's best option against Milk's heavy lockout here. Quapman though coming around the side, coming around the back here with the slosher, and still able to keep things down for Milk until Boom is able to get 3 people on the zone. This could be enough for them to get the zone, but maybe it's not.
They're really struggling, but at the last second, they are able to do so, keeping Milk at 7 points remaining. They still have life in them here for Boom, but that did swap back to Milk's side very, very quickly. Boom is doing everything they can to stay alive. They have got numbers advantage right now. They're going to start going in. Boom really threatening this here. If they can set up Prosper, I think they could do a really good job here. But the question is, like, we need to have other players get in place so that Prosper can play from a good spot and not get picked off here. It looks like there's a little bit farther back, trying to move in now with those missiles here. They are getting points on the board, though. The question is, like, can they hold it long enough?
And that's something we saw. That's like a similar question to what we saw in the previous game, right? Boom, as soon as they get this big push, it was hard for Social Experiment to get back in. Not so much for Milk, though. I mean, you just got a double off for Hope here with the 96 deco. And there's another one from Guapman there. Woomy trying to go around the side, but Milk sees it coming. They have 2 people on already. 1 player going down for Boom on the off screen there. Now there's 2, so it's a 2v4 now. Milk now doing the best. They've already got Guapman making her way well into enemy territory. Now it's going to be for Hope. They're still getting picks. This is what's been working out so well for Milk.
They're also playing very, very aggressively. Like, you know, what we saw Boom do before, playing super aggressive. It's working out better for Milk because they're the ones getting the picks here and controlling this space. They're going to start losing players, but that doesn't matter because they just kept people off the zone and they're able to get that into a knockout.
And that was very smooth there, Rose. If I wasn't watching the stream, I would have never known that Milk just cruised their way into a KO win. And that's the neat thing too, is that Milk is making this look so effortless. It's like, all right, you're bringing Woomy here. We know exactly how to deal with it, actually. And this is something that kind of goes against what you may hear. Just keep holding forward. I mean, you have 2 people that can take care of Woomy. Go off to the side. Go get a pick. You know that your players are capable enough of taking those 1v1s to where you don't need to worry about all collapsing in on the flank. Just keep going forward. Just keep going forward. We'll take care of it. We can continue to hold on because we know they have a numbers disadvantage. We still have 4. They're going to have 3 trying to hold on to their own territory. So keep holding forward.
Yeah, and that's true because, you know, Woomy likes to create these opportunities for the rest of the team to go in on these engagements. But if the rest of the team is stuck being pushed back, even if Woomy gets in, and if nobody else can follow up on it, then sometimes it's just like, oh, shoot, well, that push didn't really amount to anything.
No kidding. And it's almost surprised with how fast both of these teams able to get back into game 2. I mean, I was about to give you a whole preview, a whole spiel.
Play.
They know what they want to play. And in fact, they were holding the same weapons that we saw earlier. So yeah, why not? Let's just run the same thing. This time it's going to be Scorch, Scourge, Clan Blitz.
Yeah, we are back on Scorch here. Got this opening, and I don't know. They're already getting picks in here. Milk getting rid of Tufa. They already have that cooler ready to go really quickly in. That was not even 20 seconds in.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've already got we've already got press. We already got a crab. We've already got a cooler. We've already got Woomy with a pick. We've already got Woomy with another pick with this stamp. And now what else do we see? Another pick with the stamp. And there's the stamper. And there's another one. Can we see a third? Yes, we do. There's 3, 4, 5, multiple. Here's a cram and a power basket. And Boom has already made their way back in. drastic shift from what we saw in game 1.
Absolutely. See, that time they really were able to take advantage of Wumi going in and creating opportunities for the rest of the team to follow up on. Really huge first push from them, getting down to 45.
And we still see them jump in. I like how much they jump in with Cooler, because they know they essentially have a short lifespan, and so did that crab, but we're not going to talk about that because they went down fairly quickly there. Tufa and Wumi still holding things down here. Now, Silver Experiment struggled in trying to get back in, or I don't remember who it was. Now I forgot which set it was. I think it was George A that was struggling and trying to get themselves back in. So I want to see what Milk does here against Boom, a team that has done so well with disruptions, and Milk is already at or near this basket.
They are. They want to make sure that they have the resources to push this forward. So they're not running in recklessly yet. They want to make sure that they have specials up and ready to go. Get some picks. That's going to be a good first opening pick. Wumi is setting up here on their snipe and not really able to move in yet. Those strikes are going to be really nice. Slurp is still holding down territory here, but Milk has not scored yet. They did lose their splash, and they're just not holding forward yet. They've got, oh, never mind, we've got a Kraken coming out. Oh, this is the opening. This is the opening for Milk. They have got this. They just need to get the power claim in. They score it. They're going to start putting in more clams here. Are they able to keep this open long enough to go get the lead? They could, because that crab is out, controlling space, keeping Boom away. They just need one more clam in to get that lead. They're going to try to do it with power clam, but taken out.
Who else? It had to be Wumi. Who else? I mean, Milk, granted, they have the lead. You finally did it. You've broken through. And to be honest, you had full hope all the way down in the rafters, back where I wasn't expecting to see you, but you still have to watch out for Wumi. I'm sorry, Wumi is still a threat, and Wumi will continue to be a threat for as long as you let them be one. And that shut down the push there, so they still have that shutdown value. They still have that factor with them. The only problem is that Milk is just doing far more with their pushes, far more with their control than what Boom's previous opponents have done, and that's causing more trouble for Boom than before.
Yeah, Milk was threatening more of a push this time, but taken out by the specials coming out from Boom. There's 3 members down on Boom, and that Sniper Rider is forced to go all the way back. Time for Boom to get their next push going, but Wumi holding 7 clams taken out here. That is going to slow things down for Boom, which is not going to be good, but they are still in it. If they get a lot of points in, they could take the lead here. They're ready. They just need to get that power clam in. Their support player ready to go in with the strikes. So taking them out there.
I mean, that's fair. You have the power climb. You may as well go for it. And you still have a few more players going for it. So, yeah, fair enough. Again. But I want to see what Milk does here. Now they have 3 players collapsing in on Bottom. This is their opportunity. They know that. They need this opportunity. But you also need to watch out for Wumi. I like that the pencil's making a call out here. You need to make the ping because Wumi is going to be a threat. And I don't know how you don't fall off the stage there, but For Hope keeps themselves alive and is able to get the power clam open for Boom. Tufa, you're in a bit of trouble here. Wumi's in a bit of trouble as well. 3 players down. Frostberg goes down to lane. Wipe, excellent stuff here from Milk as they have the crab to give themselves going. A power clam zooming in, 11 points remaining. And things are going to end very quickly here as Milk takes game 2 and is 1 game away from winning grand finals.
How
wow.
did that Kraken live? How did they not fall?
I don't know. They were halfway off the map, Rose.
Wild tech that I do not know yet.
New levitation technology live from Swimmer Sync. We are the first to be previewing it for y'all.
You know, and even though Milk is up 2-0, we saw some really good plays from Boom there.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is what I said earlier. Wumi will continue to be a threat as long as you allow him to be, but as I say that, they listen, they hear it, and they apply that to the last push of the game where one player, all it takes is one ping to point it out, and now everyone's like, okay, we know Wumi's coming up. How do we make them back up? We already have the pencil. We have another one roaming around, and then the Kraken just happened to be at the right place at the right time for that Wumi backup. And that's just game. That was it there. You get the delayed wipe and it's all over. That's incredible stuff from Milk.
That was incredible. Definitely, you do not want to understand how important that Kraken was at the end there. Able to get them set up, threatening a 3-0 here. They're up 2 games to Boom's 0 games currently. We're going into some Inkblot Art Academy.
A competitive Splatoon classic here, I'm sure, as many of our viewers will know. But again, no major weapon changes. I mean, what more do you expect from both of these teams? Milk, though, they are the ones who are 1 game away from winning Swimmer Stake 209, and they are already getting first dibs at the tower here. Crab is ready. We've seen what Y can do with the splash, and there's another one coming as instantly as that crab gets popped. Woomy going straight down the middle there. Watch for Woomy, because this could be very dangerous very quickly for Boom. For Milk, actually, 3 players down already. What is going on?
It is time. They're moving forward. That Kraken is canceled. No Kraken there. Woomy is threatening this ledge, using those torpedoes, using those slashes. Boom trying to move in here. That hammer is going to come out. So is the Kraken able to take out Woomy's hammer right there. I don't think that check was cleared. No, it was. Okay, they're still moving forward. Boom, though, still holding down this from For Hope. For Hope's been doing a really good job of playing aggressively. Just didn't pan out very well that time. And things are looking really good for Boom, but we saw in the previous game, they had a great opening and then they still got knocked out.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing for Boom here. You have to just keep holding forward, and there's a very clear difference on how I see keep holding forward. One of it is as a terms of aggression, and now I'm using it in the tone of a survival. Because Boom needs these big pushes to keep themselves alive. That's how they kept themselves alive in the previous match, and that's how they're going to keep themselves alive here. So as long as you keep getting this past these 3 checkpoints, we've already got it past 1, you need to keep going. Otherwise, Milk is going to do exactly what they're doing here and start creeping up on you, and somehow Prosper goes down and Squat Man with the pick.
Yes, that is going to be the end of Milk's push, though. Great defense from Boom, holding it down here. Biabadoob holding the tower right now, we've got a long way to go before we get missiles for there, but that is going to be really helpful when they do get them. But you know, we're like approaching halfway through, and there's not a lot of points scored.
No, there's not a lot of points scored for both teams because Milk got shut down. I think that's what's preventing this. We're going any further than it should. Somehow Guapman lives past that splat bomb, and that's going to be the end of Boom's push, unless you see Prosper just magically have 3 of their teammates appear like they usually do, but no, they do not. But this is the thing about Boom. If they can keep holding these people forward, you're going to stay in this set. Milk, however, they know that this momentum can shift very easily. It's the same thing we saw in previous sets, and we're going to see it here again. It's just going to be a matter of how they respond to each of these momentum shifts. And we're seeing a very good response here for Hope. Still dueling it out with Prosper. Going to take 2 for here to clear things up.
Yeah, and even though For Hope died there, and Milk's not going to get the lead here, you saw how many points they got from that while we were watching that 1v1. It was pulling all of that attention away from the tower.
And that is very important to note here, because Milk is very prone to having their attention be drawn away from the tower. That means Woomy comes in, does what Woomy does best. So you don't want that to happen. That's how Social Experiment was able to keep it close in the semifinal set. Milk is going to do the exact same. Boom is going to do the exact same thing and try to keep Woomy a threat. As you can see, past the screen here, Slotbot being forced to back up as a result.
Yeah, Woomy just constantly challenging here, but now Milk is on such an offensive here. We're trying to stay alive here, doing everything they can with this splash wall. Boom forcing it forward yet again, though.
And look at where For Hope is. This is something you see with Boom as well. This is what you want to see, but you also want, obviously want For Hope to live a little longer. I'm going to expect Woomy goes around this stack here, goes behind it, and tries to get a pick on Y. And just might, actually, before they get tripled 3v1 there, and that's going to shut things down very quickly here. But Milk is so prone to having their attention be drawn away. I wonder if they're going to make it past this next checkpoint. We'll see what they're able to come up with here.
They're throwing so many specials at this, but that booyah, what a jump out just in time to survive that booyah being thrown at the tower. But that is going to slow things down for Milk here. They are going to have to get back in. The Kraken, we saw that Kraken in that previous game make major things happen for Milk. Tufa just jumping around for so long, still taken out at the end, but that pulled stuff away from the tower, making sure that Boom is still in it. They hop on it. They're now 2-1. They're getting closer to tying it up.
And again, it's that distraction, that misdirection that's keeping Boom in this match. It's now 2-1. Still obviously in favor of Milk. They're one game away from easily calling it a night here, but Boom loves misdirection. As soon as he can get Woomy around to another side, you don't even need Woomy to get the pick there, because now you have 3 other players that can easily come around, pincer, get a pick, and Milk still doesn't have something to respond with. Too bad you lost your opportunity there. That's what I like about Boom. All right, they're bringing the misdirection here. I saw them run trips left, which is an American football thing, and I don't know how you did it in competitive Splatoon, but you did, and it works.
They made it work. Going into our 4th game in this match is Rainmaker, Undertow. Be interesting to see what happens here. Milk could bring it all home here if they're able to get a nice lead on this Rainmaker, but I don't know.
Only one way to find out. And I could give you all the previews I want, but ultimately, things are so close and so so competitive between both of these teams that it can easily shift in one direction or another. In a mode as volatile as Rainmaker, what more could you expect? I'm not sure. We're just gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah, that is going to pop early in Boom's favor right there. Nobody going to grab that just yet. They're going to start getting specials ready. That hammer from Woomy is already ready. The cooler already coming out on Boom's side as well. The crab coming out, getting a really quick pick. 2 down on Boom's side. Any momentum they had trying to go for them at the start is now solidly in Milk's hands. They get that quick early check. In 30 whole seconds, they still have all members up. That Kraken's coming out, creating space. This could be disastrous for Boom, but they still have a little bit more time. Milk is going to get taken out here. They only got down to 40. That could have been so much worse.
Yeah, but death, taxes, Woomy flanking from behind. What else is new? I mean, it was only a matter of time, but that being said, Milk is the team that comes out with a bigger push here. I think they understand the assignment here. It's all about these momentum shifts again, and Milk wants to be at the forefront of these momentum shifts, so you gotta keep getting these big plays. You have to keep swinging the pendulum in your favor, and it has to swing so far that it touches the wall. And they're trying to do it so well here, but Boom responds very quickly here. Both pedestals have been cleared. This is going... Oh, no, it hasn't. Oh, it will be soon.
But it will be in just a moment here that it was a wipeout in their own favor. They are now able to get that going. They're still keeping this push going. Tufa going around the grates here, sharking a little bit, but they are going to lose half of their team. Tufa's now spotted. Gonna get taken out. That is now a wipeout. Onto Boom, clearing the way for Milk to make sure that they do not lose the lead.
And this is what I'm talking about here. So what do we see now? Woomy already trying to make the jump here, but there's luckily 2 people around this Rainmaker, so that maybe not as effective as Woomy would have liked. In fact, Woomy goes down, loses the hammer, something that would have been very special, but who else? Being a Woomy comes in with a Frozen Pro, able to get picked there, and able to stop this Rainmaker from going any further. Whatman doing what Whatman does best with that slosher. Still keeping things in play for Milk, and Milk's is going to be getting this rank, gets the Saber, gets Woomy, and now there's still a few more to take care of for Milk, and they're going to get some more points here. They're going to make a huge push towards the pedestal. They almost touch it at 7 remaining. They're so close, but they're going to start going down. Oh, will they?
Oh, but the Slosher still here. I don't know if they're gonna be able to live. They're able to live, but they are gonna have to give up, threatening, cheekily getting a knockout there. Down to 7's not bad though. Absolutely not bad on this map. But Rainmaker in general, especially Rainmaker Undertow, it could go down in a knockout. If Boom gets a good wipeout in, and they're set up for it, they could run it forward. Right now, they are down a player here. Prosper wants to make sure they don't get taken unawares by either side. They are going to have to try to live this Kraken coming straight for them. We've got multiple specials from a crab to a Kraken. No way you're going to survive in that corner.
Absolutely not. Now, the good news for Milk is that they have the Rainmaker, or at least they have their lead in what I call no man's land. Boom needs a lot of momentum shifting in their favor for them to also reach no man's land, because otherwise Milk has this sealed pretty well. I mean, in fact, you have Slurpbot kind of just sitting back here. Now, they almost don't have a choice. You see a few of their team go down, and you have a minute to go, so you don't want to risk losing more than you can afford to lose at this stage, but Milk knows the assignment here, and they understand the assignment. They're going to keep trying to hammer away at these picks, because as soon as Boom gets any momentum, this could easily be their lead.
It could. Yeah, with the hammer coming in, if they keep the picks coming, you know, getting past 7 is going to be quite a hurdle, but it's not unheard of to get it here. Cracking it a hole down this mid area. I think they're just going back and forth, wouldn't you say?
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, this is another story of, oh, the score doesn't say much, but Boom originally almost took the lead from a 40 remaining spot, so just so you know. But Milk is just gonna stand around there. They know what's coming. They know they are 20 seconds away from a winning Swimmer Sync 209. What does Woomy have to say about it? Not much, because Biba Doobie is going to beat them to the punch, but only one player remaining from Milk. This could be Boom's last hurrah here, and it will be. They're going to take this Rainmaker and take it in overtime.
I will say, not a lot of this map is painted blue. Prosper's getting janked here by the other team, still alive at this point. Woomy's trying to make sure that nobody can come over from that flank. Tufa and Bibadoobie trying to push forward here. It is just Tufa left. Prosper is left, not entirely alone, but now they are. They're going to get run down. Prosper's forced to start running away. There's a Kraken. Bibadoobie trying to keep things going, but there's just a tail of people coming in as quickly as they can, but not fast enough. Boom, not able to move it forward anywhere near enough. Milk is going to be taking this match, and great white bracket for this week's Swimmer's Sake.
And just as quickly as they got the lead, lost it, got it back again, Milk wins the Great White Bracket, like you said, and they have won Swimmer Sync number 209, taking Boom 3-0. Incredible work here from both teams, but my goodness, there's a lot to be said about what both teams have been able to bring to the table. Third place match still underway. Social Experiment currently winning against Georgia is very large, but Rose, there's not much to take away from that set, but there is. It's just weird because we knew what Boom was capable of doing, but at the same time, Milk brought their own flavor almost of what Boom was doing. It's like, all right, yeah, okay, you see you're playing very aggro. All right, let's just do it more. Which sounds very dumbed down, but at the same time, it's also somehow true.
Yeah, it's like you're doing it more, and you're making sure to control the field. Obviously, the mechanics for these players, we saw so smooth, so quick, very fast decision making, absolutely vital at this level of play. And they were just able to, meet that same aggression, be like, cool, we're gonna call you out, make sure you don't out aggro us. They dropped 2 games in all of what we see here, dropping one. We just saw the Boom dropping 1 game to Georgia is very large, and gotta say they played quite dominantly.
It might be due to the apparent size of Georgia, but, whatever. I mean, not going to comment any further on that lest I get sued for libel or whatever. But regardless, Milk and Boom are two teams that are very alike in terms of their play style. It's not enough to say that a team wants to just hold control of a certain part of the zone. It's all about how. And the way both of these teams did it is very similar to one another. It's just that Milk was getting the upper hand every time they needed. Sometimes they just happen to be at the right place at the right time, but it all boils down to them just being there when they needed to be the most. And that's what got them the win tonight.